Hello and welcome to the Point to Rise show. This is your host, Susanne, former international ballerina that found her passion in mindset, business, and technology, and is today the founder of Rise Media. It is my purpose to use all the experiences of my past to create a better, financially sustainable future for the performing arts industry. And that starts with every single one of us. I believe that being you is your superpower. And I am here to guide you, empower you, inspire you, and give you all the resources you need to rise above what you think you're capable of. Every week, I'll bring you free shows featuring guests, collaboration, and mini episodes to ensure that you have the support in your journey as a performer. I want you to know that you are not alone. Stop chasing and start creating. Your success starts now, here with you. So let's go. And we're back. Welcome back to the show. I am so grateful that you have tuned in. In our guest conversation today, nobody less than celebrity makeup and hair artist Christina Flach is my guest today. She is the creator and CEO of Pretty Girl Makeup, and her work is inspired by her love for beauty, fashion, music, and art. And her goal is always to make her clients look and feel beautiful from the inside and out. Christina was married to the professional tennis player Ken Flach, who died in 2018 after a brief bout of sepsis. Since then, Christina has been dedicated to raising public awareness of the danger of sepsis, the symptoms to watch for, and the importance of receiving swift medical attention. She has partnered with Sepsis Alliance to produce awareness campaigns highlighting Ken's story. Christina has spoken about the topic on Fox News, KTVU, NBC Bay Area, Tennis Channel, Quiet Warrior, ABC Bay Area, the CBS, Marine Independent Journal, Positive Phil Talk Show, Tolbert and Lund, DR Channel, Sirius Radio, and the Marine Magazine. It is my absolute honor and pleasure to have this conversation with her today. Stay tuned to learn more about what it means to feel beautiful, that we all should be feeling beautiful no matter what. And it is our choice and our responsibility to work on that every day. And I also go into, what does it take to, on a daily basis, raising 5 children, building a company from the bottom up? What does it look like when we're going through grief? So tune in, enjoy, grab your cup of coffee. And as always, I love, love, love hearing your feedback. So without no further ado, here's our conversation.
Sounds.
Christina, thank you so much for being on the show. It is such a pleasure and honor for me to have this conversation with you today.
Oh my gosh, how sweet are you? Thank you for having me. How are you today?
I am so well. I am excellent. Thank you for asking. Well, I usually dive right in. I want to start with, you have a very impressive resume. You have all of these accomplishments. You are everywhere and anywhere. There's really literally not many people that you haven't worked with yet. And who is Christina that we don't quite know yet, that's not on her resume or has all of these acclaims? Who's that person? That
so funny that you asked that. I'm visiting my best friend Diana, and she and I had this conversation last night. She's like, who are you when you're not being all that? And she was telling me that the part of me that she loves most is not all that other stuff, is who I am as a person. She said that I have the hugest heart. I'm open, I'm giving, I'm kind, I'm generous, and I'm really funny. And she's like, sometimes people don't see that when they see what you do. So I think that's who I am.
Thank you for sharing that. That's why do you think people are not seeing that? Or is it really that they're not leaning into or giving it the time of day to actually really truly see it? Because for me, it's obvious. I can see it. I can actually feel it coming through the screen.
Oh, wow. I think when people meet me, they do see it. Sometimes until they meet me, or, how we're having a conversation, they can feel me. and then they understand who I am. But I think if you see my life and the accomplishments and the things, the road that I have led, I think people they assume things about my life and of who I am. And their assumptions are not always correct. I'm a lot funnier, I'm a lot happier than one would think, considering the things that have happened to me. And so I think the thing that I try to let people know is, don't make assumptions. Don't, people think things of because of how I look or how I live or what I do, that I'm a certain way, and they're inaccurate.
Okay. So let's get into your story a little bit. Can you give us like the 3,000-foot approach of, from you playing pro tennis to founding your own makeup company to, having 5 children, being married to Christina Flach, all of these so interesting and intriguing facts about you. Love to learn more about what that path looked like.
Well, I am the mother of 5, and I am the creator and founder of Pretty Girl Makeup. I'm a celebrity makeup artist. I am, since my husband Ken Flach passed away 4 years ago from sepsis, I have become a sepsis awareness advocate. And that's kind of segued into people asking me how I grieve and becoming a positive grieving, I guess, expert, because I feel that I was on a hike one day by myself, and I could hear my husband's voice saying how hard it was for him to look down on me and unable to comfort me the way he had if he sees me in bed crying or I'm sad. And so I thought about that. Oh my gosh, how hard would that be for me to look down upon him or my kids and not be able to comfort them, and seeing them not living their best life and not happy and not doing the most that they can do, being their best selves. And I thought that would be really hard. So I thought the best way that I can honor my husband and my son and my mother and my business partner that passed away is to give back, be of service, to be happy and joyful. And because it does affect how I am in the world and life, it does affect my children. And my children have been through enough that I don't want to make it any harder upon them than it already is. And so I think that I started after my son Bo passed away on Christmas Day. It'll be 16 years in December. I started an educational fund at the Northern Lights School in Oakland, California. And then when Ken passed, I started the Ken Flach Educational Fund. I also started with my friend Lisa Zimmer, who was principal at the Edna McGuire School in Mill Valley, California, an outdoor classroom and garden called the Bo Friedman Outdoor Classroom after my son. And so nutrition and education are incredibly important to me, not just as a mother, but also as a makeup artist. I really do feel that you're going to look better with what you eat and drink, or what you not eat and drink, right? And so I thought the best thing that I can do to honor my loved ones is to raise money for underprivileged children at the Northern Lights School, and then at the school in Mill Valley to get kids from kindergarten until 5th grade exposed to gardening, planting seeds, harvesting them, cooking with them, doing science experiments. They're much more inclined when their parents aren't saying, oh, eat that spinach or Swiss chard, to try it if they pick it and grow it themselves. And so I feel that they're going to have a much healthier, happier teenagehood, adulthood life when they start eating, healthy from the beginning. It's not such a big deal.
I can attest to that. My mother was that person. We actually, after my father passed away, we moved onto a farm and we only ate what we grew. So that's how I grew up. But I didn't like it. So I had a phase in my 20s.
You get the opposite. That you
rubbish. Where's the chocolate? I never had pasta until, I was 20. All of these things, it just came in a big bowl. And then I actually learned, okay, I now get to make the decision, like what is actually good for me and what not. So thank you for doing that. Can we talk about a little bit? I hear what you're saying, that, grief is tremendously, it is tremendously taking over at some points in our life where we just either can't even juggle it anymore, or where we don't want to take care of ourselves anymore, or even when get things harder, right? There is that point where it feels easier to leave our own interests, our own well-being to the wayside, and just to take care of everybody else around us, so we don't have to lean into what may feel painful for us.
Right.
How did you, and I find this to this day, is like the hardest thing to do, because you have to be so aware of it. How did you make that switch, and what kind of tools do you still have today that when these darker moments come, to not linger there for too long?
Right. Well, I think that the beginning stages of grief, and it can last for however long. You never really get over it. You just learn to manage it. So I think the most important thing is not to, it's always going to be there. You can deal with it today, tomorrow, a month, a year. It's up to you. But I'm very proactive in pretty much everything in my life. And I think also because I'd had the experience of my mother and my son passing when Ken did, that I knew I couldn't go down that dark road, right? I knew that I had to kind of pull up my bootstraps, and really, I started exercising twice a day. And it wasn't like some crazy big workout. It was a walk, Pilates, yoga, ride my horse, go on a hike, play tennis, something to just get outside. I always knew that if I got too hungry, too tired, didn't think about being grateful for things and meditating, everything seems so much worse. And being grateful, huge thing. My daughter Melania had taught me. She came home from London after Ken passed, and she came into my office, and I was, crying or screaming or both. And she just said, "Mommy, you have to be grateful for the time you had with Ken. You can't be mad and angry and bitter the rest of your life." And she said, after Bo died, you weren't yourself. And once he came into our life, he made everybody smile. My kids, my ex-husband and I, he brought joy into our life. And so I am grateful for that, because I might have stayed in that dark, sad place after Bo passed. And so I really, when she said that to me, she said, you're not guaranteed anything in life. Just because, God brings you someone amazing doesn't mean you're going to have it forever. So that's why it's so important, I feel, to really appreciate the loved ones that you have in your life and love the heck out of them. Don't just go, "Oh, I'm not ready for a relationship. I'm not, oh, there's always so many excuses. Oh, when I lose 15 pounds, oh, I'm not," there's always an excuse. And I just feel, I always tell everyone I love them at the end of every conversation. Could be anybody, my agent, my kids, my assistant, whoever, my clients, because I do love them. And it doesn't need to be this mad, passionate love, but it's love that you feel in your heart that you're putting out into the world. And I do think, especially when I'm being a makeup artist, I have to really have love in my heart for my client, because it's about them at that time. Because it's not just me making them look good on the outside. I need to make sure that they feel good, that they're happy and they're calm. I have to make sure that they're, able to get in front of the camera and not be distracted, right? And so making them feel good is as important as making them look good.
Wow. So true beauty really starts from here, right?
Absolutely does. It does, because the camera doesn't lie. It can tell if you're in a bad mood. It can tell if you're angry. It can tell if you're happy. So if I can get people, if I see that they're stressed, I will massage their hands with aromatherapy oil. I'll make sure they have some water tea, make sure they've eaten something. I like to make sure, sometimes they want to talk. They want to talk about their problems, or they want to hear about my life, or sometimes they want silence. And I have to really be aware within about 3 seconds what they need. And so I'm pretty good at reading people. And so that's one of the things that my agent always knows, that I can handle a lot of, I've had teenagers, right? Teenage daughters, in fact. So I can deal with a lot. I'm kind of like the grumpy whisperer. I can get people that are grumpy and miserable. I can put them into a good mood.
Oh, wow. That's a super
one of my best things I know how to do.
Wow. Okay. I love it. I may have you over right now. Yes. I have three boys. Of two of them are teenagers right now, and I
Oh,
have
how
to say,
lovely.
they're no, actually, you know what? No,
Teenage boys are so easy. It's the girls that are much more challenging, right?
like if I look at myself, oh yeah, yeah, they are so easy. I mean, I could just still,
I
I'm so
know.
proud of them. They're
Oh,
my
well,
favorite
that's
thing in my life.
because you're a great mom.
Oh, well, thank you.
You know, it's so interesting. My daughter Rose said to me a couple of years ago, and she's 26, and she said, you know, Mom, your lectures on drugs and alcohol were really dumb. And I was very offended because I thought they were award winning, right? She said, the way you conduct yourself, the way you treat people, your work ethic, the way you've dealt with Ken's death so gracefully and is what's really important. And that made more of an impact on us than your lectures. So I didn't realize that, even though I've had 5 kids, that my behavior and how I am really matters more than we know. So I think that would be my big advice to parents is like, you know, it's not as I say, do as I say, not as I do. It's actually do as I do.
Yeah.
Very important. And I didn't realize that. I mean, I've had kids for almost 30 years. And so it was something, they always teach us something.
Oh gosh, yes, yes. I think I became more me having children and discovering who I am and what I want because of them.
Yeah.
I think they challenge us to get the best out of us as well,
I
you
think
know?
we become the best versions of ourselves.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go to founding Pretty Girl Makeup.
Okay.
I am intrigued. That was, you started in 1999, is that correct?
Yes.
So that was actually before the time that women were actually, you know, seen as, or it wasn't that big time where women founders were really in the arena yet. We're seeing it more so, and we're talking more about it now than we did in 1999. In 1999 is when I left Germany to come over to the States.
Oh, wow.
So I am intrigued. Like, I'm asking this question because I want to know all about that. I want to know about the path, the mindset that you had, the conviction, the grit, the struggles, the messy middle. Can you walk us through that? Or me, for that matter?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay. Awesome.
So I was a mother and driving around with all these kids, and there was a constant battle between my lip gloss and my water bottle.
Right.
And it was just constant. I couldn't find a lip gloss that would stay on without being matte and drying. And the ones that were matte and drying, then I'd have to put something on top. It was just this thing. And I thought, okay, it can't be that hard. I'll make it myself. Well, it's so great when you don't know and you think you know. And then you find out that, my client, Tyler Florence, always said, it's not easy to be exceptional. If it was, everyone would do it. And it's a lot harder than we think. And thank God what does he say? Thank God that we don't know how hard things are, or no one would do anything if we knew how much money and time and effort. But thank God, because that's one of the things I've said to my kids. Figure out what you would love doing so much that you don't mind getting paid, and then figure out how to get paid. And so I enjoyed the whole process. I worked with a beauty chemist to formulate the lip gloss. I'm self-funded until literally right now. My partner, Jordan Hall, and we have Pretty Girl, but we're going to start a new company called I'm Too Busy Cosmetics, which kind of fits with my life. And I worked with the chemist for over a year formulating it, to get the texture correct. And then once we got the texture correct, then the colors. I had 7 colors. I wanted them to look good on all my friends and family that are all different shades of the rainbow. And I would try it out on all my friends and family and then send notes to the chemist. And then that's what took so long, just the notes back and then reformulating and sending back. So that's how it started. And then I got a publicist, Yvette Masterson, and I got into some, the first piece we were in was the San Francisco Chronicle. And then from there, we've been in People, In Style, Vogue, OK. We've been in a lot of magazines. And so that's pretty exciting. And then it's kind of helped my makeup career, kind of differentiating myself as a makeup artist, having my own line of makeup. So, and then it helps my makeup line that I'm a makeup artist. So they both kind of help each other. And so being a makeup artist, you don't work every day, typically. Some weeks you work 5 days, some days it's 2, some weeks, or then you don't work at all. It's the weirdest job in the world. And it's not for everybody. You have to be okay with knowing that there's going to be some downtime. So that's why it's so great that I have Pretty Girl and I'm too busy, because on the days that I'm not, doing makeup, I'm working on my company or I'm doing interviews. So it's, for me, the perfect balance, because I am an artist at heart and I love to work with a team and create beautiful things. But I also like having the business side that is, lucrative, and, it keeps my brain stimulated. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it very much.
So I'm intrigued by, I understand that from how you told the story, it sounded really nice and easy, but I cannot imagine that there were not some obstacles in the way as a mother of many children during, yeah.
It wasn't easy. No, it wasn't. I mean, it's, when you own a company, it's 7 days a week. It's not 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. If that's the type of person you are, that's my sister, for example, thinks my life is, she thinks I'm a gypsy. She thinks my life's crazy. She goes, I don't know how you are not having a heart attack when you're not working, if you don't have a shoot, or, how you have this company. And it's just, you have to be okay with it, with the lifestyle. I like it. Would get bored if I had to go to an office every day. And it has been of course, there's been obstacles. My son passing away, my husband passing away, then the pandemic. Yeah. And it wasn't easy. And at times I thought, oh, I give up. I'm not doing this. But I've always just stayed focused on, tried to make lemonade out of very sour lemons. And there's been times that it's hard. I'm not saying it was easy, but I will say that I did enjoy it all the time. Probably not so much when pandemic hit and I couldn't work. My makeup company was obliterated. I couldn't do a shoot. It was definitely scary. But the funny thing, my friend Diana, who I'm here at her house right now, she always says, just focus on the outcome you want, not on what you don't want. And you're always going to have enough money. You're always going to be fine. And I'm like, how the hell do you know that? Maybe I'm not. I'm the only person here making money. She's like, I promise you. She said, okay, let's try this. Try it for a month. Just pretend that you don't have to worry about money and go live your life. And I'm like, And I did. And she's right. Everything works out. I focus on what I want, not what I don't want. And everything's fine. The pandemic's gone. I just wrapped a TV show with Tyler Florence for 6 weeks for the Food Network, which is going to be airing June 6th on the Food Network, called The Great Food Truck Race. I just finished that. He's been very busy, so that means I'm very busy with him. He's away in Saudi Arabia filming another TV show, which I'm not with him, which makes me sad, but kind of not, because I think it's going to be in the desert and the 9 million degrees and sandy. So I'm like, okay, I can't go. Oh, that's okay. But I have other clients. And so I focus on my work. And right now I was able to jump on a red eye on Monday to come see my best friend, and I'm still able to work. My agent said I didn't have anything this week, and I'm just doing my work from anywhere I want to be. So it's kind of nice. My kids are grown. I have a lot of freedom now, which is something I didn't have when I was younger, because I had babies so young. So it's fun. I'm in a really neat time in my life. I'm really enjoying it. It's nice having enough money and enough freedom and working so hard to get to that place. Nothing was handed to me. Let me tell you, after Ken died, life was a mess, and it was really hard. But I made it through by myself. I got myself out of that mess. And so now I'm kind of allowing myself to enjoy a little bit of this freedom, which I'm not really guilty about.
Oh no, why would you feel guilty, right? And I think
I think because we have it in our, like, oh, you should work all the time and just focus. But you know what? I worked with my energy healer, Diane, who is in Calgary. And my mother's Canadian, by the way.
Oh, really? So
we're related.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Diane always tells me, you can't give a basket of oranges unless you have a basket of oranges to give. And so it really, self-care, that's another thing I teach my clients. Self-care is so important. I'm a better mother, better wife, better partner. I'm a better everything when I've rested, exercise, work out, do all the things I need to do to feel good, eat well, make sure I have my green juice every day, like 9 million gallons of water I drink, and have some fun time. You need to have fun. And we shouldn't feel guilty about it, because I am a better person all over because I've taken a little bit of time for myself. And it's not selfish because I'm still giving 99% of my day, but I'm allowing myself to not feel guilty about having a little fun time.
Oh, preach. Well, isn't it though society has really put this into our genes and into our subconscious from an early time on, that we are worthy when we're working hard, whatever that means. And that term is so stretchable, that only this way can we actually gain success, worthiness, the titles, a great life. And I never really bought into this, yet I participated, and I'm learning more and more and more that it does actually take more effort to put ourselves first, because it comes with so many stories, really, right? That switching that mindset and building those new pathways in our mind, like that's the work. And we think it can't be easy, it can't feel good. Well, no, that's not the truth.
Right.
All it matters is what we focus on, as you said before. Yeah.
Right.
Let's talk about
so.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
No, I just want to make sure my Wi-Fi was unstable. Okay. I think it's all fine now. I think it's really important also as a mother, for me to set an example for my children that I make time every day to exercise, to eat well, to read my book, to listen to music. My house is always pretty organized. I have fresh flowers all the time. There's candles. I try to make my environment that I'm around as beautiful as possible and as blissful. Since I work out of my house most of the time, unless I'm on set, it's important that there's not a lot of chaos and disorder. So my bed's always made on time. My kitchen's clean. I just like to have it tidy, because I just feel that energy is super important, and to surround yourself with positive energy instead of chaotic energy is really important. And so I think I work better when everything's kind of neat and tidy. And oftentimes I'm by myself, but I still will brush my hair, put on a little bit of makeup, because every time I pass a mirror, I don't want to be like, oh my gosh. And it's like, ooh, I need to hire myself. But I think it's important to look like the best version of yourself and feel like the best version of yourself. And I don't think there's anything superficial about it. We're visual people, just the way it is. And so why not be the best version of you? If you're going to feel like the best version, you should look like the best version. And I really feel that. We all have 24 hours in the day, right? And it's up to us to figure out how to use that time. When I was filming the show with Tyler, we had really weird hours. And sometimes I would wake up at 5 a.m, go to the gym for an hour, even if I didn't want to, because I really tried to, I don't make an excuse of, oh, I'm traveling, I can't eat well and I can't exercise. No, I made sure I had all my supplements. I had all my green juices. I worked out every day. I would go to yoga before or after, depending on the time of day, find a Pilates class. You can do all that. And in fact, it's almost easier when I'm on the road, because I don't have a house to clean and I don't have any kids to shuttle around, or the dog's not there that needs to go out. So there's actually no excuse, if you're away, to not take good care. And I know that, if I had gone 6 weeks without exercising or eating just terribly, I would have gained so much weight. I wouldn't have been able to be as good of a makeup artist to Tyler, because it's not just doing his makeup, it's making sure he's in a good place. Like, does he need some water? Does he need me to listen? What does he need me to do? If I hadn't felt okay about myself or have good energy, I couldn't take care of him the way I do, the way I need to. So it helps your job. So there's your excuse. If anyone has an excuse about that, just, you're going to be a better employee.
Oh, you get a better person, a better partner,
Absolutely.
a better woman, better man, and then I think there is this belief that this betterness doesn't start with us. It comes from the outside at us, or we need to do something specifically to please somebody else to feel better. So you mentioned something, the excuse of being too busy, which I think when you mentioned your new makeup line, the busy girl makeup line, can we talk about that?
Yes.
Yeah, I am too busy. I feel, and I want to hear your perspective on that. It's almost like an epidemic that I'm hearing over and over. It's an excuse. I am so busy, for people not to take care of themselves, not to invest in themselves, not to take time for what really matters. I am too busy. And I've come to really cut this out of my life. When your schedule is full, it's full, but busy is a mindset. Busy is in your way to actually really focus on what matters to you. How do you feel about that?
I think that I kind of made a joke about Pretty Girl, because I made a joke about Pretty Girl and I'm making a joke about I'm too busy. My joke with Pretty Girl was I was a mother of 5 and exhausted and all these things. And I wanted to be a pretty girl. And to me, a pretty girl, my mind was, oh, the girl that could go jet off to Saint-Tropez and go shopping and go to lunch and go to the spa. So I made jokes of all my products: day at the spa, pretty girl lunch, let's go shopping. And that's how it is for me with I'm too busy. I'm too busy, or however, I am, but I'm still taking time to eat well and to exercise, to give back to the community, to be healthy and happy and loving and kind. It doesn't matter. You're too busy. No, not really. We all, again, have the 24 hours. How do you choose to use it? I make sure that even when I'm home and I have to go on a set, I make sure that I pack food so I don't eat the craft food, because the craft food table is, again, you gain 20 pounds in one day. And I can't do that. So that, to me, that table over there with all that junk food, I don't touch it ever. It's like it doesn't exist. So I just make choices that make wise choices, because they're going to lead to a lot more happiness. I feel better when I'm not cracked out on sugar. And I'm not saying I don't eat. Believe me, I've been in Miami since Tuesday, and I've had ice cream 3 nights in a row, which I normally wouldn't do. I don't care. It made me feel good and I was really happy. So I'm back on my but even so, during the day, I'm drinking my green juice, having my water, doing my extra. I'm doing all my things, but I'm just adding a little bit of joy into my life. I have a friend, and he has this best quote. It's lead a healthy life until the tiramisu comes out. And I think that's so fantastic. Leading a healthy, happy, existence, exercise until the tiramisu comes out. And I love that. I think that's like the greatest quote ever.
I love it. I love tiramisu. It's my favorite dessert. So I am.
Yeah. Okay. You can use that quote.
Yeah. Okay. We will.
My friend Dave, that's what he says. I just think it's brilliant.
Thanks, Dave. Great permission. We'll take it.
Thanks, Dave.
What are you currently reading?
Oh, I'm reading a great book. I'm reading the second book of The Kitchen House.
Oh, do tell more.
Okay, hold on. Let me tell you what it is. It is, I just told my daughter Rose to have, it is called, hold on one second, Glory Over Everything by Kathleen Gleason. It is so good. It's fantastic.
What is it about?
It's about slavery, and it's about one of the characters was a father was a plantation owner, and the mother was a mulatto slave, but the son came out looking white and not black at all. And he was raised by his grandmother, who he thought was his mother. And then it's just this whole family history of what happens when a lot of people, they were threatening to sell him as a slave, and the father disowned him. And it's just this whole thing. It's really good.
Wow. Thank you.
I'm a total nerd. I read a lot.
That's not, yeah, I heard you love bookstores and you like hanging out there. I don't think it's nerdy personally. I think it's just a lifestyle that
I like being a nerd. I think being a nerd is cool.
Okay. I also heard that you love flowers and arrangements, and that if you would actually, in fact, take a step into that career. Where are we with that?
I say that, and I'm sure it's a really hard job. It would be exhausting. I just love flowers. I think they're so beautiful. When I buy flowers every week for myself, and I make arrangements, and it brings me so much joy that I think, oh my God, if I could do this all day long, how fun would it be? But then I'm assuming that I'm so don't know how it is, that it's probably waking up a lot, getting your hands like pricked with thorn bushes and beat up. So that's my dream job. But I think I would only like to do it like an hour or two a day, once in a while.
I'm bringing this up because when I heard you say this, I'm like, oh my gosh, was something that I talked about since I was a little girl. And I
Right?
still haven't. Like, I love flowers. There are always some flowers either in the garden or in our house. I love making arrangements. And it's that joy that's producing, and maybe not pursuing it as a career will actually keep ourselves that joy.
I think you're right. I think it is something that we should just, when's your birthday, if you don't mind me asking?
December 17th.
Oh, you're a Sagittarius.
Yes. When is yours?
I am an Aquarius, but my rising is Sagittarius.
Aquarius, February or?
Yes, February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day.
Of course, 13th. It's my lucky number. I love it. Okay.
Mine too.
Married on the 13th. Okay, yeah.
13th of what month?
March.
Very nice.
Yeah. Okay, your path is very intriguing, and many obstacles, many learns that has made you into the woman that you are today. If you could go back to your 16-year-old self, and let's assume she actually sits down and listens to you for like 2 minutes, what would you tell her? I'll just preface that.
I would tell her, you are going to have the most extraordinary life that you can't even believe you're going to have. Don't worry. It's just going to be amazing. Just go out and enjoy it. Not worry. Worrying's a waste of time. Just go live, and you're going to be shocked with all these miracles that happen.
Beautiful. Worrying is like praying for the wrong stuff, right?
Absolutely. I say that all the time.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, Christina, where can we find you, your products, and all the things that are coming down the line for you right now? As I'm shining the spotlight completely onto you, like your 50 seconds.
Yeah. You can go to ChristinaFlach.com, PrettyGirlMakeup.com. We are offering a 25% discount with the discount code PrettyGirl if you go to PrettyGirlMakeup.com. On Instagram, I am Christina Flach Makeup, and Pretty Girls is PrettyGirlMkup. And we're on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and God knows where else.
Everywhere, you all. You just
I try to make us be wherever.
Omnipresent. That's how it's working nowadays, right? Yeah.
Also, if you want to hear about, my husband passed away from sepsis. So I am an advocate for awareness. And so if you go to sepsis.org and scroll down, there's a little graph that says time, and T is for temperature. You can be incredibly hot or incredibly cold. I is for infection in some place in your body. M is for mental decline. And E is for excruciating pain. You feel like you're dying because you are. It's a blood infection that attacks all your vital organs. So, yes.
So we didn't get into that story. And actually, I want to take a little bit more time, if that's all right for you, to talk about that, because for you, it is all about awareness. If the awareness of, this illness, this sickness would actually have been more present when your husband fought through it, he would still be here. So can you, what is sepsis? How does it come about? And what kind of questions can one ask if a doctor is not responding to your gut feeling?
Okay. So sepsis is an infection of the blood that attacks all your vital organs and shuts them down if it is not treated with an IV antibiotic within a golden window of time. So you can get it from a cut tooth or a knee cut, or in my husband's case, it was an bronchitis that turned into pneumonia. He wasn't seen by his doctors at Kaiser Permanente. And so they misdiagnosed, gave him cough medicine with codeine, which is incredibly dangerous. If you have an infection of the blood, if you have an infection brewing and take that, your breathing slows down and the infection grows at an insane rate. And so within 16 hours of my husband taking those medicines that the doctor prescribed, he was on life support. And so that was on a Wednesday. We spoke to the doc, and then Thursday I rushed him to the emergency. By Monday, his organs were all shut down. his hands and legs were turning black because of not having enough oxygen. And so that's how quickly it can be. So if you have any of those signs that I mentioned, the temperature, the hot or the cold, or the infection, get to an emergency, get a blood test, and say, I think I might be septic. And the one thing I've learned in the past 4 years after experiencing this is, you know your body better than anyone. You know when you have a cold. Now, sepsis isn't a normal cold. It's something that is like another level. It's kind of like childbirth. You don't know how bad it is until you're in it, right?
Right.
And so if you feel like the doctors aren't understanding you, go get a second opinion. It's your life. Sepsis isn't one of those things that you're like, oh, I have a cold. If I don't feel better tomorrow, I'll go to the doctor. There's not a tomorrow with sepsis. If you think you have anything, get there immediately, get tested, and get out, there's a protocol for it, and you'll survive. It's very treatable if it's caught in time. So it's, one of the things that I felt really good about in the past 4 years is being able to raise awareness for sepsis, but hearing all the people that, I get so many emails and phone calls and direct messages of people saying that they've heard an interview I've done and that now they were aware and they saved their loved one. So that really makes me happy that I can save lives.
That left me speechless. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Wow. Oh, wow. I didn't want to leave it off it's not a heavy note, but that we sometimes don't see that what we went through could actually help others not to go through the same pain and grieve that we have encountered. So thank you for sharing that. Christina, thanks for being here. Loved our conversation. I was going to come to Miami and have more conversations with you.
Please do. I'm going home today. You have to come to San Francisco and see me.
Okay, that's a date. Yeah.
Please do.
Okay, thank you, everybody. And again, if anything stood out from this conversation, please tag either Christina or this show in your Instagram stories. We want to hear your takeaways, and even with things that you don't agree with, so we can share our perspectives around it. Yeah. We're sending you so much love. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening. If this message resonates with you, please pass it on to someone who needs to hear this right now. And if you like what you've heard, your feedback will go a very long way. If you just take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review, that would mean the world to me. Till next time, point at yourself to rise to all that you are capable of.